Hello! So I haven't done a voiceover in like 2 years and a lot has changed since my last one, so I thought I'd do another one now in case nobody reads my long essay of a description. So hi, my name is Alex and I am a teenager who draws. I also write fanfic and I'm also a super busy high school student, so I don't post that often, but I have lots of cool ideas I want to share. My current main fandom is Asterix, the title character of which I am drawing right now. So, as you can see from the title, I'm doing one of those memes where you draw a fan art of a character in the canon style and with the canon model, and then in your own style with your own headcanons. As you can see here, I'm currently struggling with the hand I decided to try and draw. Yes, that is my hand that I took a reference photo of. It's quite bad, but it worked for me. So as I finish drawing these rather difficult hands, I have actually already sketched the canon version of the character on the other side of the picture. You'll see that when I start doing line art that I tried replicating the style of the actual artist of Asterix, Uderzo. I failed, kind of, because his style is it's really awesome and interesting and I love the way he exaggerates things, but I also do not understand it at all. And it is so different from what I normally do. So it was a fun challenge. But yeah, as you probably know, Asterix is quite a comedic, lighthearted sort of series. But I've always been fascinated by fanfics and fan content that explores a darker side to it and makes the stakes and situations sort of more real. So that's what I'm trying to include in my own interpretation of Asterix. So you'll see here, I start drawing the head, which was the hardest part of Asterix for me to get right. But I think I've come up with a pretty good way to stylize him. I don't actually usually draw these thumbnail eyes and eyebrows and stuff, but they actually really helped, so I might do that again in the future. So I talked a bit earlier about making Asterix a little more real and a little bit darker in a way. So you'll see I give him a few different scars throughout the drawing. This one on his eyebrow, well, it looks kind of cool, but I imagine he got it from something stupid that happened when he was a kid. For example, my mom has a scar on her temple from when she ran into the corner of a table. Something like that, because, even though I'm making Asterix's story a bit darker, he's still not just a badass seasoned warrior. He makes silly mistakes too. Now you'll see here, I go back and forth a lot on what I'm going to do with his shoes because I don't really understand how his shoes work in the original. They seem just slightly thicker socks because they kind of mold to the shape of his foot, and they don't really seem to have much of a sole or anything. I don't know how they survive all that walking he does. So I start by giving him these more historically accurate kind of leather shoes that I saw someone else give him, but I end up changing that later. The one thing I am so proud of in this drawing though is the helmet wings. I don't know, the lines just happened perfectly. Yeah, I think they look really good. You'll notice I made his helmet wings all pointy in this one, mostly because it's more fun to draw pointy things than long thin things with round ends. I think it makes them look like a bit more expressive, and yeah. You'll notice I've given him like this big long scar on his forearm. That's from a fanfic on AO3 by kingrayii 2, I think is how you say the name. And the little one on his shoulder is from another fanfic called Safe and Sound by Zeragii on fanfiction.net. I actually do a lot of this. He has a lot of scars from different fanfics because, well, those are the only times where he actually gets injured, but yeah. I incorporate a lot of fanfics I read into my headcanons. You'll see here I'm reworking his shoes again because I didn't like them in the sketch. The first thing I did was give him a sole, and then I start referencing this other artist called felis-rach on Tumblr. I think they have a really cool design of Asterix, so I kind of copied their boots that they gave him. And now I'm trying to actually add folds to his pants, which is like the thing I am worst at in drawing. Clothing folds. I don't really understand how they work, but I don't know, I just copied things that I remembered pants looking like, and they came out alright actually. I like them. And now I'm starting to colour, and you will not see me doing any fancy stuff like all the other art YouTubers out there because I draw on Sketchbook on my iPad. And Sketchbook does not have a fill tool that lets you reference other layers. So you have to colour everything in manually. It's so fun. And totally not at all frustrating and time consuming. But it's okay, I like Sketchbook. It's like simple and easy to use. But yeah. I colour picked all of these from an actual drawing of Asterix by Uderzo, so I guess they are the correct colours even if they look a little bit weird. You'll see I made his skin a little bit lighter and this one to contrast better with his hair. I also changed the line art of his scars to make them like blend in a bit more. The ones on his knuckles are just, because you know, like I would not assume you can punch that many Romans wearing metal armor without like cutting yourself at some point. His shirt's supposed to be like solid black, but I wanted to actually shade it, so I have to make it a little bit lighter so you can actually see that. And I made his pants a bit darker because I wanted the colour palette to be a little bit more muted and less like bright, colourful, cartoony. And after I finished colouring, I proceeded to press save and then forgot to start recording again when I did all the shading. So this is just me showing you like all the layers of shading and the little bit of background that I did. And yeah, now it's done. Thanks for watching.